lead nowhere. But on stage, I try to make it mean something. You know what I'm saying? And try to make it like people relate to it. So I think I just cut off the fat. It's just more professional talking.
And how much your show is just tight, and how much your show is loose there?
I would say maybe 60-40, maybe 60-40 tight, because I like to keep it organic to the room too. And I don't want to feel like I'm always repeating the same shit.
Now I know you do. You do audience work.
Yeah,
definitely. You'll find yourself, and you do it a little bit like Rickles, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for a type of person that you've got stuff on.
Usually, yeah, sometimes. But sometimes if you can't even find that, if you get out the way of it, you can make it happen. That's what I always find. If I try to force the laugh on it, it ain't going to work. But if I just be in a moment with the person or with the audience, then it always works.
Now, how long have you been on the road doing stand-up?
99.
99, wow.
Yeah, that's 20 years
20 years.
Damn!
And how did you get from little charade to doing comedy professionally?
Just do it first. When I just started doing open mics and bringer shows.
And did you do college first or no college?
Yeah, I did a bunch of colleges. Early on. Oh, did I go to college? Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the Morgan State. Big shout out to Morgan State, Baltimore, Maryland. I know Trump doesn't like Baltimore, but
he does not like. Well, there's more than Baltimore he doesn't like.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of things.
So you went. What'd you major in?
I majored in communications and business.
Did you know you wanted to go into comedy?
I did. I did. So, but I still wanted to go to school. I still wanted to go to college. I had a clothing store I owned with a couple of my friends when I was in college called Materialistic.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527. Silver at $17.42, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,099. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in new advisories issued by whitehouse.gov entitled White House Announces Actions to Crack Down on Trafficking of Fentanyl and Synthetic Opioids in Better Position Private Sector to Protect the Homeland, the U.S. government has named a new enemy in America's deadly opioid crisis, Bitcoin. Activist Post reports that among culprit cryptos named as aiding in trafficking of fentanyl are BTC, BCH, ETH, and XMR. For those in the know, it's a little more than darkly ironic, as the U.S. government's systematic U.S. dollar finance of big pharmaceutical companies and combined violent prohibition of safe alternatives like cannabis dwarf any paltry contribution that crypto might be making. Chinese drug kingpins in crypto are being blamed, but the government conveniently ignores its own central role in the chemical devastation of tens of thousands of lives. In 2017, over 72,000 people died of an overdose, and most of those were opioid-related. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A law firm is investigating smartphone RF levels exceeding federal safety limits and a cover-up by telecoms. That's according to a report from Activist Post, which cites the Chicago Tribune, which conducted an investigation of various smartphone models and found that many exceed federal RF safety limits. The law firm of Fegan Scott has started their own investigation. Last year, a similar investigation in France also determined that many mobile phones exceeded federal safety limits. PhoneGate led to scientists demanding a recall of millions of phones. U.S. safety limits for cell phones were established in 1996. They don't apply to today's cell phones or other wireless devices. They also don't apply to the way most people are exposed to wireless radiation emitting sources either. In fact, the limits have offered no real protection to anyone for many years, especially children, who are more vulnerable to harm caused by exposure. Animals are also affected by exposure. Former Microsoft chairman Bill Gates may not be able to escape Epstein-Gate after all, after it was revealed last week that the billionaire traveled with Jeffrey Epstein on his infamous Lolita Express Boeing 727 in 2013, 4 years after Epstein served time for pedophilia. Activist Post, citing the Daily Mail, reports that flight records reveal that Gates flew with Epstein from Teterboro Airport in New Jersey to Palm Beach on March 1, 2013. One of the few flights that year where pilot Larry Vysotsky recorded the name of a passenger. At one point, Epstein claimed to be a financial advisor to Gates, but a representative for the billionaire has denied it. In addition to Gates, other famous figures who flew aboard the Lolita Express include legendary newsman Walter Cronkite, architect Peter Marino, and Bill Clinton, Naomi Campbell, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Prince Andrew. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Zone. I'm Brooke Alvarez. Our top story tonight, Congress has passed a bill naming incomprehensible shouting the official language of the United States.
I'm sick and tired of listening to people who say that Americans should not know what to know, and that's not what it is, what the policy is. The red-blooded American is what we have in this day and age.
Under the new law, public school classes will only be taught in incomprehensible shouting, and government agencies will no longer offer translators to non-shouting speakers. In addition, a new test will be added to the naturalization process, whereby potential immigrants must prove they have a working knowledge of incomprehensible shouting before they're granted citizenship. The movement started in 2008 with a grassroots organization called Americans for Doing It Right, because we gotta now, because who else, right? Come on!
This is the Onion News Network, a tomahawk of honesty in the skull of lies.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airwaves and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And apparently, Miley Cyrus wants to smash the patriarchy or something like that. I mean, they're not wrong. I was out at a bar at a girls' night out about a month ago, I think, and we listened to the new Miley Cyrus song. It was then the new Miley Cyrus song, and watched the video, and it's absolutely a hardcore feminist video. I mean, there's no doubt. It's all about don't take my rights away or whatever. I don't remember the song now.
Somebody's taking women's rights away?
Well,
they should give them back.
It wasn't even rights. It was freedom. Don't take my freedom from me or something. I don't know. It's not an awful song. It's not the kind of thing I listen to. Wait a second.
Somebody in America has freedom?
Well, they think they do.
That's
at
news.
The very least.
I wonder. I'd be interested in the definition of this freedom.
So Miley Cyrus has certainly had an interesting career arc from one of those Disney kids to, didn't she kind of go crazy for a little while, sort of like Britney Spears did?
Well, there was that Alan Thicke, I'm not sure, video where she was kind of sticking her tongue out and stuff and being weird.
Okay, maybe I'm just thinking about Britney Spears then. Justin Bieber sort of did the same thing. It seems to just be
if you've got enough money, you can go crazy.
That's true.
The social restrictions are different for those of us wandering around in the middle classes than it is for people who are way up there and have plenty of money. I mean, once you have enough money, then you can tell the whole world. If they call it FU money for a reason, right?
True.
You say FU enough and you've lost your mind.
I suppose that's true. But she's recovered now, or if she ever went crazy, I may be thinking of the wrong person. Who knows? If she ever went off her rocker for a little while, she's at least recovered. She's back in the music scene and all of that. And evidently she broke up with somebody. I don't know, because I don't follow that sort of news at all. It's probably the one thing on this planet that I'm least interested in.
A person named Liam Hemsworth was the breakup occurred with. Yeah.
And who is he?
I don't know. There's not even a picture of him.
I've never heard of the guy.
Okay, so just some dude, basically. And according to this woman writing this article, I think you said it's CNN?
NBC.
NBC?
NBCnews.com.
It's proof of smashing the patriarchy.
Yep, from Marcie Bianco, and I'm sure she's fun at parties. Over the past week, an assortment of trendy stories from Jeffrey Epstein to the Dayton and El Paso mass shooters to Miley Cyrus's separation and Julianne declaration that she's not straight, together have laid bare the strictures of an American patriarchy on the edge of a nervous breakdown. Wait a second.
Wait, what?
Are you on a nervous breakdown?
No.
Okay, I'm not on a nervous breakdown. We must not be
One
part of
could
the
make
patriarchy.
the argument that I am.
Are you
did.
on the edge of a nervous breakdown?
No, I would be post-nervous breakdown.
Oh, I've had a
in that
nervous
world.
breakdown, but that had to do with caffeine and stimulants, not
Sure.
not the patriarchy. But yeah, that was years ago. Anyway, as the status quo, heterosexuality is just not working, says again Marcie Bianco. Who's,
I'm
what?
A naturalist, right? Which is not a what?
I don't know what a naturalist is.
I'm
all
a-
right?
I'm a
You like-
naturist.
you
Let's
like-
put it that way.
You like to go out in the woods and look at leaves?
No, I'm
Okay.
an evolutionist.
Okay.
Is generally a more applicable term. So I'm of, that you say heterosexuality isn't working, or the author says heterosexuality isn't working.
Yeah.
I don't know what else could.
Right. I would say that there's 8 billion people on the planet. Heterosexuality is doing fine,
Yes.
Marcie.
I would tend to agree.
Science will solve that one eventually.
Yeah, well, I agreed. I could take that stance. It's not like, I don't understand that the modern woman can, for less than $100 of items off of Amazon, solve all the things that modern men do for them. You can get yourself a fly swatter, those little things you can put underneath the legs of furniture. One of those little grabber arms that'll get things out of the top shelf. I mean, all the things that modern women need, they can pretty much solve for $100 and one trip on Amazon.
You seem to have given this a fair bit of thought.
Oh yeah, I think that men are the vestigial gender. We're just not that useful anymore. There's the testosterone with all the advantages it comes with does come with some disadvantages. We're pretty violent.
That's true.
If you look at violent crime in this country, most of it's committed by men.
Oh, like
or at least blamed
95%
on
of
men.
it.
Yeah. And the domestic violence, I think men probably get a disproportionate of the amount of the blame there because they're the bigger one.
I would agree.
But
for every
the
man
lesbians can
who
work that out on their own.
For every man who hits a woman in a domestic violence relationship, there is a woman who either A, is intentionally antagonizing to the man who she knows will get pushed to that point, or B,
unless it's
hit
her
the
first
guy
time getting
first,
hit.
or C, is staying there.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, it's victim blaming, but then again, it's
I
not
can
like
do
the
that.
victims.
My mother was killed by one of these people.
Yeah, it's not like the victims aren't to blame sometimes too. So I don't know. Let me go on here with Marcie's thing. We sound really progressive, all of us. As a snapshot of 2019 America, these stories present a startling picture. Men continue to coerce, harass, rape, and kill girls and women, and go to extreme lengths to avoid responsibility for their actions. On the other side of the issue, women and girls are challenging heterosexuality and even absconding from it altogether. Okay, so this is when you think of the sexual binary, right? Like the gender binary, you determine that men coerce, harass, rape, and kill girls and women. And they should put beat up, too, because, I mean, that happens.
Sure.
But if you look at the numbers, men assault men at a far higher rate than they assault women.
I don't know, because I know that there is a lot of underreporting from male sexual assault victims, because so much of that.
Well, I didn't mean sexual assault, but
just any assault.
But if you look at prisons, I suspect you start wrapping that number in, it's going to drive up some of your numbers. I don't know.
True.
Just a guess.
That men are overwhelmingly likely to be the victims of assault by men rather than women.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, it's true, but as a guy, right, as one of the 3 or 4 billion guys on the planet, I don't have any control over those other dudes. Like, I'm not communicating to any of them through my magic male telepathy, and we don't have some plan for coercing, harassing, raping, and killing girls and women. This is just, well, this is the ramblings of a sex crime victim, sadly, I would presume.
I would assume she's probably
clearly a man
not
hater.
a victim of a sex crime.
Not?
I would assume she probably is not.
Okay.
She sounds like she's one of these upper middle class, educated, in quotation marks, white liberals who just hates everything and everyone because she has been systematically programmed to since the time she was 12 years old.
But aren't like 1 out of 3 women victims of some kind of sexual harassment or assault or whatever?
They claim that, right?
Okay.
Back when I was in high school, I'm not going to say the year, but I read a Cosmopolitan magazine when I was at my sister's house because that's what she had lying around, and it was all about...
Cosmo's great.
Yeah, it was all about... The article was about how women insisted they had been raped when they hadn't been.
Okay.
Such an article would never fly today, right? You have hashtag #MeToo, hashtag Believe Women, and all of these other things, but the fact is that every single female with whom I've ever had a relationship claimed that at some point she had been sexually assaulted.
Okay.
And without fail, as they told me these stories over the course of the relationship, it came out that no, they just never actually said no. Or they just never said, oh, yes, I want to have sex with you. And that's what they were defining as sexual assault, because they seemed, these particular girls that I'm thinking about, they seemed to have this desire to believe themselves to be so desirable to men that the men could not resist. That's been my experience with it from a very long lifetime of dating almost exclusively women and being very successful at it.
So wait, they actually wanted to be victims?
No, they wanted to believe that they were sexy enough, hot enough, attractive enough that they could be victims to men.
Well, I think just about anybody could be a victim. So
Sure.
I don't think that's a criteria. Personally,
It is in their heads.
But it's certainly something that I read about then and that I took note of because I thought it was such an interesting article and something that my life experiences has 100% substantiated. I don't know any woman I've dated who, when she told the story, it actually sounded like anything resembling sexual assault. 855-450-FREE.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Images of destruction are flooding in, and the worst isn't over. Experts warn that Hurricane Ashley could strike as many as 8 bars throughout the day. Her Cinco de Mayo plans, combined with all the recent drama with Scott, have created perfect conditions for Hurricane Ashley to cause a lot of damage this afternoon and well into the evening. Here's a look at Ashley's path of destruction so far. At 11 a.m., she landed on Foster Street, moving from O'Murphy's to the Blue Iguana, hitting the place that does the mini pizzas the hardest. And she's expected to merge with other high-pressure systems, including BFFs Jessica and Christy, within the next hour. Forecasters predict that some areas could see all 3 grown women obnoxiously shouting, wearing sombreros and fake mustaches as early as 5 p.m. The whirlwind might not die down until close to 2:30 a.m. when she's expected to be kicked out of a reggae bar called the Lion's Den for saying something racist. Our thoughts are with everyone in her path.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airwaves and talk about whatever is on your mind. Give us a call at 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And I want to tell you about local.bitcoin.com because Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform unlike anywhere else in the world. They allow you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash using dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, bank transfer, or just meeting in person with cash. They have no ID requirements, no KYC whatsoever, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. So go check them out. That's local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. I think we have 3 hosts here on Free Talk Live who are actively selling at local.bitcoin.com. It's an awesome service, and I can't get enough of it. So check it out one more time. That's local.bitcoin.com to get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash.
Just for folks to know, KYC stands for Know Your Customer.
Yes.
Because, well, I didn't know what that was for the longest time. People just throw out those letters, and I didn't know what it meant.
Sorry. I get so used to just saying KYC that I forget that not everybody knows what that means.
Going on here with the story from NBCnews.com, Marcie Bianco. A snapshot of, framed differently, the picture is this. Men need heterosexuality to maintain their social dominance over women.
Say what?
Okay. I mean, if they have social dominance over women, then yes, they would need heterosexuality in order to secure that.
I think that there's some argument for some social dominance, at the very least from a historical standpoint. I don't know, but I mean, there's also...
So it's the author's contention here that having intercourse with somebody is necessarily a submissive dominance interaction?
I think that there's something like that goes on. I mean, wouldn't you say that the sexual act, that there's a dominant person and a dominant individual, and that dominant individual is doing
Sometimes.
The stuff.
It depends on what you're doing and what your relationship is. I mean, you could be dominant, submissive. You could try to be equals. You could switch. You could do all sorts of other things. So I don't think it's necessarily one person is always dominant and one is always submissive.
I think I have to agree with Mark here and the author of this article, actually, and that the whole topping and bottoming thing, in whichever style of relationship it is, whether it's two women, two men, or a man and woman, or more parties, somebody is necessarily receiving and somebody is necessarily giving.
Somebody's pitching and somebody's catching.
That much is true. Much is true.
The catcher is almost by definition being the receptive one, being the submissive one.
Fair enough. But how do you take what goes on in the bedroom and say, okay, that's proof of patriarchy?
I don't. I wouldn't say it at all. Best I could tell in my relationship, my wife and I made a deal, right? I was going to be in charge of the business. She's going to be in charge of the household.
Okay.
I had no idea what that meant. But I can tell you what, I live in the household. So what does that mean? She acts like her butt's in charge, and she pays the bills. She decides what gets, which cleansers we use. Like a whole bunches about my life is decided by my wife because of this deal I made some time ago. It's not bad, right? Like life's pretty good. I'm not complaining or anything.
Question: would you buy different cleaners if it was?
Yeah, I would buy different cleaners, but I don't care that we have different cleaners.
So, I mean, you would buy the cleaners in the way that a man would. You would like, okay, this is the cheapest, and it looks like it does the job.
It's blue.
Yeah.
It needs to be blue.
It's blue, so it's for windows.
Right,
okay, got it.
No, it's blues for dishes, right? And blues for windows, yeah.
Okay.
Agreed?
Yeah.
I could change color on windows, but for dishes, I couldn't.
And toilet bowl cleaner.
Toilet bowl cleaner. I've always just used the brush. Just, daily do the toilet bowl with the brush.
Well, if you're going to use something, I would think Comet is probably the best bet for that.
Yeah, for like every 6 months or something cleaning, you get in there and you scrub out any stains that manage to come along. Sure.
So anyway, toilet cleaning aside.
Right. By the way, I clean the toilet at my house. Is that the patriarchy, Marcie?
I would say not.
Okay.
I would say the person cleaning the toilet is probably not the head of the household.
Well, I don't make an argument as to whether or not I'm the head of the household. I am not the head of the household. I turned over household management to my wife because, well, she knew better about how to take care of a house than I did, and I had a lot of work to do with my business. I'm, manage the business, but not the household. And turns out the business is largely housed in the household. So, there's some butting heads there too.
Well, it comes back to sort of how extraterrestrials would view humans as they watch us, scoop cat turds out of litter boxes and dog turds off the side of the road. Oh, this furry animal is the one in charge. Yeah.
Yes. Women, on the other hand, are increasingly realizing not only that they don't need heterosexuality, but that it's often the bedrock of their global oppression. This is in NBC.com. I want you to understand, this is a real coup for lesbians. This woman has got her sort of fantasy about how the world should be, which is that there should be more lesbians, so I have more lesbians to choose from, and is
I endorse
feeding
that
us a line. Well, look, if we look at the Kinsey scale, is it 0 to 7?
What is the Kinsey scale?
The Kinsey scale is a scale of sort of sexuality.
How gay people are?
Pretty much.
Well, or not gay they are.
Okay.
The opposite side of it.
Sure.
So it's a rating about how gay you are, I guess.
Okay.
And I think gay is a 7 and not gay is a 0. And most people fall in somewhere along the edges of this, right? Like you could be a 1 and never act on a gay thing in your life, but
is that like, oh, that guy looks nice in a suit kind of gay?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What do I know? I just know there's a scale.
Where do you fall on the scale?
Me?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, like a 0 or a 1 or maybe something like that. I could look at a guy and say he looks nice in a suit. If you want to say that that's gay, okay.
So is there actually a test you can take?
It's certainly some level of gay to find another male attractive.
Okay. Well, attractive is different than good looking, isn't it?
I wouldn't think so.
So attractive attracts. Good looking is
just... It doesn't mean you are attracted.
So if I like tiger lilies or daffodils, I think they're pretty, but I'm not sexually attracted to them. Like I'm not trying to stick anything in there.
Right. When people say attractive, they generally mean sexually attractive.
So I don't know. Again, I'm not the one to go, saying one thing or the other on this this particular subject, but I will say that there's not just such thing as gay and straight. Science has proved that there's
it's definitely a spectrum.
Yeah. So
I would say it's probably got more than 7 points on it as well.
And I'm happy to go through Marcie's wish list here on how the world's women are going to turn against men, but it does get funnier and funnier as time goes by.
Is it women and their whole pregnancy, childbirth, mothering thing? Isn't that kind of core to female empowerment in the first place?
No, that's core to female oppression. Haven't you read the article?
If you don't want children, it sounds like oppression. If you do want children, then it's empowerment, right?
Right.
It's one woman looking at the world and calling it something is what this is.
I want to hear more
Craziness.
about this something that she thinks the world is, and her.
It includes the patriarchy.
And Miley Cyrus, for some reason. So she wants to smash the patriarchy. We're going to talk all about that. What do you think about the patriarchy and smashing it? 855-450-3733.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com, advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airwaves and talk about whatever is on your mind. Give us a call at 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we just took some of us, I don't know whether or not Michael did, but Mark and I
yes,
at least.
I did.
Okay, we all just took a Kinsey test. It's only 7 questions, so it's not going to be extremely accurate. To no one's surprise, I
don't feel it's extremely accurate, I can tell you that.
I was smack in the middle, bisexual, equally heterosexual, and homosexual, which I would...
That doesn't really surprise me. You're sitting over there in a skirt with, dyed purple and pink hair.
It's red, Mark.
All right.
It may be pink now.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't looked that closely.
There's a little band of pink, but it's mostly purple and red.
Yeah. So no surprises there. I'm rather upfront about being bisexual. I think it surprises a lot of people who expect me to be like exclusively into men or whatever, which according to some people would make me heterosexual anyway. But let's not get into that because I definitely don't agree with that assessment. Michael, how were your results looking?
So on the scale of 0 to 6, I got a 2.
Oh, it's a 6, so it is a 7-point scale.
Yeah, 0 to 6. So I got a 3.
You got a
smack
what,
in the
Michael?
middle.
A 2?
2.
I came in at a 2 also. I wonder if they just don't put anybody at the very ends of the spectrum.
I don't know.
They want everybody to believe that they're somewhere in the middle.
Well, the questions were really strange.
Yeah, I got to say that the questions as to with whom do you form strong emotional bonds, men or women or both or mostly or whatever, and... Well, I mean, I have a business partner who's a man. That's a strong emotional bond. I like hanging out with dudes because we share many of the same interests. Never have I considered the notion that this would somehow make me gay. And then what the other one was, I don't remember.
It doesn't have to. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
I've been sitting here thinking about the time a few months ago. We were talking about what the New York Times called bud sex.
What the hell is bud sex?
Aria?
I remember bud sex. It was talked about on Free Talk Live, I believe.
So alcohol was involved?
Yes. Alcohol was definitely involved.
This is
there's no doubt.
The after show video version of Free Talk Live, I guess.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I think we got into it briefly during the show, but we saved most of it for the after show. And it is these largely rural, self-identified heterosexual dudes who were engaging in homosexual acts with other men while developing strong emotional attachments to these other men, but not admitting that they were developing strong emotional attachments and saying, it's not gay to just occasionally engage in a gay sex act.
Yeah, it's not gay. We're just hanging out, right?
And pleasuring each other's private parts.
Okay,
it was exactly as gay as it sounds.
We're just helping each other with a problem.
That sounds like a case of denial.
They just weren't calling it gay. That's exactly what it is. And they admitted during the article when they interviewed these men that a large part of it was a result of them being in rural places where they couldn't come out safely and say, "Oh yeah, I'm bisexual," because of all of these social stigmas attached to it. They weren't those fruity gay men who wear tutus or whatever. They were straight cowboy working on the farm kind of gay dudes.
Brokeback Mountain stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I've never seen that movie, but
I haven't either, but I've gotten the gist of it from people.
Indeed. I think the important parts, we hit on the important parts. So anyway, we took this this test here, and I'm going to say the 2 that I came out at is a bunch of malarkey. But whatever. Going on with the article here from MSNBCnews.com. this Marcie gal writing, patriarchy is at its most potent when oppression doesn't feel like oppression. So she's talking here about heterosexual relationships and how women are now throwing off the yoke, and that men need heterosexuality to maintain oppression.
Okay, so let me get this straight, so to speak. If
There's not much straight in this article, but all right.
If you're a woman and you're heterosexual and you enjoy being heterosexual, you're oppressed.
Yes, according to Marcie, from what I can tell. Patriarchy is at its most potent when oppression doesn't feel like oppression, or when it is packaged in terms of biology, religion, or basic social needs like security, comfort, acceptance, and success.
Well, I hate to break it to this woman.
Real life and science disagree with her?
Yeah, heterosexuality is absolutely a matter of biology. It is the biological norm. The existence of the species depends upon heterosexuality being the norm.
Well, I can't do a voiceover for Marcie because I don't know what she sounds like, but I'm going to guess she's a little screechy. Heterosexuality offers women all these things as selling points to their consensual subjugation.
It's not subjugation if it's consensual. It may be sadomasochism, but it's not subjugation. That's like saying, okay, have you ever seen or read 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
Well, the gist of it is that this woman enters into a sex slave relationship with some dude. I think. I don't know. Never having read the books or seen the movies, I'm not 100% clear about it. But from this point of view, that woman is, in real literal terms, a slave, even though she voluntarily, of her own accord, submitted herself to that in the first place.
Yeah, I have heard the statistics. I don't, I haven't delved deeply into this, but I've heard that that rape fantasies for women are as prevalent as 2 girls, 1 guy fantasies are for men, which is to say, darned prevalent.
I wouldn't know. I've never asked.
I can say that I have, been in relationships with women where they like a little bit of tying up or something. And look, I'll do whatever it takes to get what God intended. So sure, whatever. It's going to take a little longer. But I was a Boy Scout. I can tie a knot.
Okay.
Historically, women have been conditioned to believe that heterosexuality is natural or innate, just as they've been conditioned to believe that their main purpose is to make babies. And if they fail to do so, they are condemned to as not real or as bad women.
But that isn't the case at all. And that's why we have, that's why the female empowerment movement includes abortion, to separate the social requirement of a woman having kids to qualify as being an empowered woman or a fulfilled woman.
Yeah, I would say that it seems, I don't know what she's talking about here. Maybe she's talking about different places than I live, because where I live, women can go do anything they want to do. And where I live, women want to have children. And look, every woman I've been with, just about, wanted to have kids at some point. Maybe not right then, but at some point they were going to have kids. I never wanted that. My wife, I'm happy that she did, but my wife basically put her foot down and said, we're going to have kids, or I'm going someplace where I can get them. And
incidentally, that's why I left my ex-wife, because she wanted kids. I didn't, and I wasn't going to work out one of those kinds of agreements with her because I was so adamantly against having a child of my own.
Well, you're younger. And,
sure.
I got to say that things worked out pretty well. By the way, I was just hanging out with a friend who said that he felt the same way. And now that he's had one, he has 2 now. First, when he had 1, he wanted 2, and now he wants 4.
So what you're saying is that having heterosexual reproduction is a slippery slope.
Yeah, once you have the first one, it's hard to stop.
So the idea that men are forcing women to subjugating them and forcing them to have children doesn't seem very modern, very 21st century to me.
No, it's certainly not happening anywhere in Western society.
Well, I mean, there's
there may be some outliers.
Culturally, there are people that are, the United States is a melting pot. People who come in and, they bring their old ideas from wherever, and some of that's going on, but it's not happening in my social circles, I don't think.
Nor mine.
But then again, Marcie's here to tell us otherwise.
Do you know a woman who has been forced to have kids? Or a man who has forced a woman to have his kids? 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. Give us a call. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
We've been talking about Marcie, this ultra-feminist at MSNBC.
Well, NBCnews.com, writing for NBCnews.com, yeah.
Okay, who is just talking nonsense, babbling nonsense, almost incoherently, about various ways that heterosexuals have asserted power over women with the mighty phallus.
Just the very existence of heterosexuality is what causes patriarchy. It seems to be what she's saying.
That seems to be the premise of what she's saying here. And to me, what that is thinly veiled lesbian desire for a larger dating pool. And look,
that's a bit base. I think she's just, corrupted in the head. I don't think she's like, I need to make more women into lesbians, so I'm going to turn them against men. I think she's just nuts.
It could be that too. So going on here with her reasoning. Celebrities are not always at the vanguard of feminist thought, but Julianne Hough and Miley Cyrus have recently spoken out about sexuality in ways that put the power and responsibility back into their own hands. In the Women's Health September cover story, Hough, an actress and dancing...
How is this woman's name spelled?
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know how it's spelled?
Well, it's spelled. I'm sorry. Hough.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
An actress and Dancing with the Stars champion describes her personal transformation, which included delayering all the survival tactics I've built up my whole life. One of these survival tactics, she says, is meant connecting to the woman inside that doesn't need anything, versus the little girl that looked to my husband to protect me. I do think that women do look to men for protection. And in a world where you can buy a handgun, it seems like a silly thing to do.
Sure, I look to my .38 for protection.
But I think many do.
Yeah.
Right? And I would say from an evolutionary standpoint, I feel called to put myself in between whatever harm might come to my wife and family and the harm. So, not an entirely misplaced expectation, I would say.
No, and historically, the men, as you pointed out, have been the aggressors, and so it's fallen to
the
other
men, the defenders, too.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
It falls to the men to defend the non-aggressors against the other aggressors.
Yes.
Historically.
And the women are the ones most likely in historical situations to survive. They're taken as the slaves. They're left impregnated. They're, whatever. The guys, heads are in piles.
And this is what patriarchy would actually look like, by the way. Your husband or your spouse of whatever sexuality being killed while you're kidnapped and forced to carry someone else's child. That would be a patriarchy.
That sounds patriarchal.
That definitely sounds like a patriarchy.
How about the time in human history when only 1 out of 17 males was able to reproduce? This is at a time when, you're talking about most people are in a tribal situation.
Sure.
So one would presume that in the cities that you're talking about 1 out of hundreds gets to reproduce.
How come? Why weren't they allowed to reproduce?
Well, it's not so much as an allowal thing. They just didn't have their testicles anymore. It was really common to just chop them off.
Through what period of human history was this?
It's quite some time, sort of almost prehistory, early city-state kind of stuff.
Yeah, when did this happen? Why did they do that?
Because there was a guy at top, and he wanted all the women.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some of the greatest generals in ancient times were eunuchs. And that's not because eunuchs make good generals. It just shows how high you can go up in the social strata and still not have been, swayed from not have been spared from the knife.
They never taught us this in school.
No, they don't. Look it up on the internet, and I think it's 1 out of 17.
Fascinating.
I'm on this story right now, but you're welcome to tick away and take a look.
No, I want to get back to Marcie's little confused tirade.
Yeah. going on, she voices concerns that her husband will respond negatively to this newfound self-sufficiency. I was like, he's going to love this version. Is he going to love this version of me?
Hold on. So she's married.
I guess.
She has a husband.
Yeah, that would make her married, yeah.
Okay. So it's more of what we talked about last Tuesday on Free Talk Live, which is this whole tendency, they call them privilege beliefs, or luxury beliefs is the terminology they used, which is generally high-powered people on the left propagating ideas that they don't actually adhere to, like how heterosexuality is bad, it's damaging, it's destructive, it's oppressive. Oh, let me tell you about my husband. So she's talking about the horrors of heterosexuality. Right. She isn't a lesbian.
Couldn't you, at that same time, extol the virtues of your husband and say, this is a very progressive man here? Now,
sure.
I don't know what percentage of men are out there just telling their women what they've got to believe and stuff like that. I tend to think it's very little. I've lived with women, and they tend not to believe something simply because I say it. It's quite the opposite, in fact. So
yeah, that sounds like my experience.
From psmag.com, June 14th, 2017, 8,000 years ago, 17 women reproduced for every one man. An analysis of modern DNA uncovers a rough dating scene after the advent of agriculture.
That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sucks for them.
Right. Now, is that the patriarchy or the matriarchy? Because the women got to breed, but it was one guy on top. I don't know either. That's why you shouldn't just like the idea of I'm all about the individual, right? And 16 out of 17 individual men could not breed, and by could not breed I mean they really couldn't, because they'd had their parts chopped off when they were young. There's a lack of freedom for you.
Yes.
Having to carry the baby of this sheik or sultan or whoever the hell's running the show, not exactly freedom either. But hey, let's just not forget, freedom historically really hasn't existed.
Well, yeah, because it's not about female oppression. It's not about patriarchy. It's not about matriarchy. It's not about women being oppressed or men being oppressed. It's about individuals being oppressed by the state apparatus.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's exactly what you were describing.
And that's what was going on back then.
Yep.
Sure, the men were being oppressed by having their parts snipped, and that sucks, but the women were also being oppressed. It wasn't that men were being oppressed more or women were being oppressed more. It was that the entire population was being used by its ruler.
It goes on here. Is he going to love this version of me? But the more I dropped into my most authentic self, I wonder how. I see a picture here of this person. She looks like she might be in her 20s, so I doubt she's even found her authentic self. But whatever. The more attracted he was to me. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad their relationship's going well. Now that we have
I'm not, because it's a hetero relationship, and that's oppressive.
And now we have a more intimate relationship. I wonder what Marcie's going to have to say about that. Part of the intimacy.
Oh, I thought that was Marcie.
No, that was Juliana or whatever her name was.
Okay, sorry, that would be part of my confusion then.
Part of the intimacy entailed telling her husband that she was not straight, but had chosen to be with him. This is an inspirational statement. It's bold. It's brave. No, it's not. It's just somebody talking. Because it offers, and by the way, ladies, if you tell your husband that you're also attracted to women, he is going to like that. This is not going out on a limb, okay? Now,
try it in reverse.
What's that?
Be a man telling your wife that you're also attracted to men.
That's probably not going to go as well.
That doesn't always go as well.
It does tend to go better than most men would expect, but it's still not going to go well.
All right, well,
some of that male privilege, I suppose.
I guess. It just makes me wonder what it's like for these guys that have their wife wander into the bedroom while they're trying on her underpants. Like, that must be a fun conversation.
Hold on, start over, because I can probably answer the question.
Have you ever been trying on your wife's underpants and she walks into the room?
No, she knew I was wearing them.
Okay.
That was a fun conversation itself, though.
But the first, I'd like to wear women's underpants, your underpants.
Yes, that was
the underpants.
Fun in quotation marks. There was nothing fun whatsoever about that conversation.
Okay.
Yes, it was thoroughly unpleasant.
I would think, this is just a thought here, I would think it's uncomfortable, Aria. I mean, women's underpants are made for women who are shaped differently, especially in that spot, than men are. So, I think that things would get kind of bound up and like squished to the side, and
not any more so than men's briefs.
Men's briefs are designed for what they do. I wear briefs.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527, silver at $17.42, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,099. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in new advisories issued by whitehouse.gov entitled White House Announces Actions to Crack Down on Trafficking of Fentanyl and Synthetic Opioids in Better Position Private Sector to Protect the Homeland, the U.S. government has named a new enemy in America's deadly opioid crisis, Bitcoin. Activist Post reports that among culprit cryptos named as aiding and trafficking of fentanyl are BTC, BCH, ETH, and XMR. For those in the know, it's a little more than darkly ironic, as the U.S. government's systematic U.S. dollar finance of big pharmaceutical companies and combined violent prohibition of safe alternatives like cannabis dwarf any paltry contribution that crypto might be making. Chinese drug kingpins in crypto are being blamed, but the government conveniently ignores its own central role in the chemical devastation of tens of thousands of lives. In 2017, over 72,000 people died of an overdose, and most of those were opioid-related. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A law firm is investigating smartphone RF levels exceeding federal safety limits and a cover-up by telecoms. That's according to a report from Activist Post, which cites the Chicago Tribune, which conducted an investigation of various smartphone models and found that many exceed federal RF safety limits. The law firm of Fegan Scott has started their own investigation. Last year, a similar investigation in France also determined that many mobile phones exceeded federal safety limits. PhoneGate led to scientists demanding a recall of millions of phones. U.S. safety limits for cell phones were established in 1996. They don't apply to today's cell phones or other wireless devices. They also don't apply to the way most people are exposed to wireless radiation emitting sources either. In fact, the limits have offered no real protection to anyone for many years, especially children, who are more vulnerable to harm caused by exposure. Animals are also affected by exposure. Former Microsoft chairman Bill Gates may not be able to escape Epstein-Gate after all, after it was revealed last week that the billionaire traveled with Jeffrey Epstein on his infamous Lolita Express Boeing 727 in 2013, 4 years after Epstein served time for pedophilia. Activist Post, citing the Daily Mail, reports that flight records reveal that Gates flew with Epstein from Teterboro Airport in New Jersey to Palm Beach on March 1, 2013. One of the few flights that year where pilot Larry Vysotsky recorded the name of a passenger. At one point, Epstein claimed to be a financial advisor to Gates, but a representative for the billionaire has denied it. In addition to Gates, other famous figures who flew aboard the Lolita Express include legendary newsman Walter Cronkite, architect Peter Marino, and Bill Clinton, Naomi Campbell, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Prince Andrew. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A mouse is eaten. It is an event that happens millions of times a day, all over the world. Other mice are wiped out by disease or starvation. If you collected all the mice that die in one day in New York City, they would weigh 8,000 pounds. If you stacked up an equivalent amount of dead humans or even mangy dogs, it would be considered an atrocity. It seems no one has any respect for the mouse. But then, why should they? The plankton of mammals. They breed rapidly. They all look identical, and they once spread the plague. No one weeps for the mouse, for its life is worth less than zero. Just another cold fact of life on this horrifying planet.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind, even if that happens to be how male genitalia fit inside of women's underwear. 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been listening to Marcie over at NBC News talking about her. Well, she's basically having a public fit of schizophrenia, from what I can tell, and is just imagining all sorts of boogeymen being out to get her.
Yeah, so it would appear. Talking about this situation where, is it Juliana Hough? I'm sorry, I don't know these people's names. Juliana Hough is talking about how she's come out as not straight. Now, Miley Cyrus has never been shy about discussing her own personal sexuality. In 2015, the Wrecking Ball singer said, I don't associate men and protection necessarily. I wonder if her security agents are male.
Yeah, they probably are.
Well, as we talked about earlier, it's primarily men doing the defending against primarily other men.
That's
I doubt she
correct.
has too many women stalking her after shows to attack her. It may happen, but primarily it's going to be other men that her security team is protecting her from.
And generally, you're not going to find security teams comprised of women too often.
It would be mostly a publicity stunt.
Mostly. There was an African king who put together a crew of sort of, warrior women to protect him.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I suspect
is this
that was
part of the random tidbits of information floating around in your head?
when you're a super genius like I am, you know a lot.
Fair point.
Yeah. I don't associate men in protection necessarily in a Time magazine interview. I think that that's given me the openness of sexuality. Okay. So you don't have to necessarily associate protection with your sexual partner.
Certainly not.
I get how that would be the case, but chances are good if Miley Cyrus employs security or somebody employs security for Miley Cyrus, the chances are that security is, 95% male.
I also would not want to be involved with someone who could not protect me in the event that I needed protecting.
Well,
it's not a common occurrence. And obviously, if I was with a woman, I would expect to primarily be the one protecting.
Oh, I see. So you're saying...
Despite being trans.
So this is just a sexist point of view of yours. That if you're with a man, you want the man to protect you, but if you are with a woman, you want to protect the woman? Is that the idea?
I didn't say I would want to protect the woman.
But you would feel obligated?
No. I would expect to... It would be the default assumption.
Yeah.
That if somebody were to break into the house, I would be the one confronting that person.
Agreed. Yeah, I can see how that would be. Shortly after it was announced that Cyrus and her husband Liam Hemsworth were splitting up, photos of singer kissing a woman in Italy made the tabloid rounds. Gee, I wonder. I'll bet that didn't do anything bad for Cyrus's career. But even before the breakup, Cyrus embraced her non-heterosexual identity in Elle's August cover story, in language that echoed Hugh's ownership of responsibility for her sexuality and marriage choices. Cyrus noted that she made a partner decision by choosing to marry Hemsworth in late 2018. Isn't it? It's late 2019 now. Why? I mean, why does anyone care, these people that can't put together a 1-year marriage, what they have to say about this stuff? All right, go ahead.
Because they're bored.
Miley Cyrus and this Liam guy, I was looking at about their relationship over the break. They've been on and off again, on again, off again since like 2012.
Okay. Is he a good-looking man?
Apparently, yeah.
Well, did you see pictures?
Yeah, I saw a little tiny picture on my tablet.
One would think,
Michael,
but I don't know what he looks like.
Thank you for taking one for the team. I do not want any amount of my brain cells devoted to the relationship history of Miley Cyrus. Yeah. I am so thankful that you did that, so I don't have to.
Yep. Let's see. She says...
so she's not...
Yeah, she made a partner decision for the person that she feels has her back most of the time.
No, they've been together and apart. They've been back and forth on and off again for years.
Okay.
Cyrus thoughtfully explains how her sexuality is both distinct from and influences her definition of what a relationship looks like. That's thoughtful.
That's a tautology.
Okay. Being someone who takes such pride in individuality and freedom and being a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, she writes in a personal memo in Vanity Fair in February, I've been inspired by redefining again what a relationship is in this generation and what it looks like. Sexuality and gender identity are completely separate from partnership. No, they're not. Sexuality and gender identity are not completely separate from partnership. They're
I
integral.
think they should be, but they're not. Okay, so this is a problem we have with our language, right? We define a person's sexual orientation based equally on the sex of the person who is attracted as we do the person to whom they are attracted, right?
Uh-huh.
So rather than having like feminine attracted people or masculine attracted people or omni-attracted people, whatever terms we wish to characterize this, I am, depending on your perspective, either a straight male primarily or a trans lesbian, right? My label that people put on my sexual orientation, it changes based on
how they view you.
Right.
Right.
And that's silly. In any event, I'm still primarily feminine attracted.
But sexuality and gender identity are still not separate from partnership. So it doesn't matter how you label me. I'm not going to be happy in a relationship if that person doesn't have certain sexual parts. So it
depends on the type of relationship. As you were saying earlier, you have a business relationship.
We've been
with
talking
a male.
about romantic relationships up here in this article.
Well, see, the point she's making, Miley Cyrus is making, is that romantic sexual relationships are not the end-all, be-all of relationships. Well, it's just a different type of relationship.
I have a strong relationship with my business partner, Ian Freeman.
Right. Not a sexual one.
And I don't care what he does in his spare time and with whom he does it. I mean, I do care somewhat, but not a lot, apparently. I mean, you know, I've heard the stories, and they're frightening. She's added that her goal for...
They can't be half as frightening as mine.
Oh, I suspect not. She added that her goal for... you're on Grindr, God knows. The stories just pile up. That her goal for 2019
Aria
was to...
Uncensored was a lot of fun back when I did it.
To live a carefree but not careless, a brilliant distinction that could serve... Brilliant! Thoughtful, the terminology, brave that's been used in this article. A brilliant distinction that could not serve as a mantra for anyone in a marriage, straight or gay. The difference between carefree and careless, in a way, represents the ideological division in the definition of freedom. What?
Yeah,
Can you run that word salad by me one more time?
Yeah, I was just saying, who ordered the word salad?
Okay, this is the commentary from Marcie about the commentary from
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus,
okay.
Yeah. She added that her goal for 2019 was to live carefree but not careless. A brilliant distinction that could serve as a mantra for anyone in a marriage, straight or gay. The difference between carefree and careless, in a way, represents the ideological division in the definition of freedom.
Okay, so it's just a word salad. We can't glean any meaning from that whatsoever.
Well,
because carefree and careless, they mean entirely different things. They are literally defined differently. So obviously, I don't know what else to add. They are different words.
To be free is not to have the power to do anything you like, Simone Beauvoir.
It literally is, though.
Writes in The Ethics of Ambiguity.
It literally is, though.
Indeed, Friedrich Nietzsche asserted that freedom is the will to be responsible for ourselves. I think that freedom must be coupled with responsibility. I don't think that it's the same thing.
What did she say Nietzsche said again? Freedom is the will to be responsible
for ourselves. So I think you must be responsible in order to be free, at least in the long term. But in the short term...
She's misinterpreting the way that Nietzsche was using will there.
Okay.
I would have to say, and we don't have time to get into it, and I don't have the mental wherewithal to get into it. My brain is very tired today from a very long weekend. But when Nietzsche spoke of the will to power and things like that, he was talking about will in a philosophical sense, not like willpower.
Sure.
So he was talking about will, the exertion of desire, so to speak.
All right.
Well, so this kook is going to continue on 855-450-FREE.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. GoDark bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkbags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkbags.com/FTL.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with Omega-6, Omega-3, Vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. Call in and talk about whatever you would like. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael, and Mark.
And we've been talking about Marcie Bianco, who has evidently confused herself more than once, to be fair, about exactly what's happening in the world today. She has this image of the world in her head that, although it bears no resemblance whatsoever to the real world, is not going to stop her from writing silly articles at NBC about how heterosexuality is oppressive
and the patriarchy
and about how brilliant Miley Cyrus is. We mustn't leave that out because she chose her words very carefully, it would seem, to heap undue praise upon Miley Cyrus. So let's get back into what this woman is saying, because it's, word salad aside, it's interesting. It's wrong, but it's interesting.
Well, it's interesting to see what other people think about the world. And, you get caught in your own little echo chamber in life, and you got to hear other people's thoughts. And this responsibility carries over from the self to society, which is why, according to Toni Morrison, the function of freedom is to free someone else, whatever the hell that means. For Audre Lorde, this definition of freedom is a social construct. I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own. Okay, so libertarians define freedom as the ability to do what you want.
That's how I would generally define it.
And then they usually add the caveat, so long as you don't hurt somebody else.
Sure.
I don't think that's freedom necessarily. The freedom is the ability to do what you want.
Well, you would have the people who would say something like, well, but you can't sprout wings and fly, so you can't be free, right?
That I'd say that would be the truth. You are not free to fly unless you can somehow create some device to fly, at which point you're that free.
But see, I disagree because I think what they're confusing for free will or freedom is omnipotence. No one ever said that, we were omnipotent beings.
Right.
Which is why Nietzsche characterized it in the way that he did, speaking of power and all that. You don't have the power to fly. That doesn't mean you are without power.
Which gets us to the other definition of freedom that libertarians use once they've been attacked on this one. So the first one is intended to be simplistic, right? The second one is to be free from coercive forces, meaning those are beings, right? Like
Sure.
the cognizant beings. So freedom can only be truly freedom from, other human beings telling you what to do.
Yeah, because you can straw man it all day. Well, you're not free because you're not free to just stop eating or to stop breathing or to stop drinking water or any of these other things. And again, it comes back to, well, we're not omnipotent.
Right. There's two things that, there's basically two forces at play intending to, control you in life. And one of them is nature and the other one is human beings.
Sure.
And libertarianism and freedom ultimately deal with those human beings, so like the interactivity there. Now, you can say, for instance, I'm not free because I don't have enough money to avoid going to work tomorrow. Now, that really isn't freedom. That's you making a choice about how you want your lifestyle to be and the choices that we all live in reality here.
Certainly.
Nobody's just...
Well, some of us do. Marcie may not.
Marcie's working for a living, at the very least. She's writing things on paper that somebody's paying her for or typing them on a computer. Anyway, this is a far cry from the type of freedom espoused by those on the right, for whom freedom, as I wrote in an earlier article on how misogyny is the driver of mass shootings in America.
Wait, what? Oh, God. We could have another 2 hours on that.
Man shoots a man at Walmart parking lot. It's misogyny. Is conflated with domination. In this context, freedom is actually possessed by a select few, as it is dependent upon the oppression rather than the liberation of disempowered people, particularly women and minorities. So there is no freedom because women and minorities are disempowered, is her premise here.
That's what it sounds like. Or she's not free.
I told you, this is a fun article. Just trying to figure out what this lady thinks. Cyrus's and Hugh's respective declaration does more than raise visibility of the queer community at large. It is a powerful assertion of their bodily anatomy and control over their sexuality. It's a powerful assertion. As though there's a problem with being gay in America right now.
Yeah, it's not really it's a problem in some places.
Some people still have a problem with it.
Arkansas, Mississippi, not the best places. Even in those places, being gay, you're probably okay. It's being trans that will get you killed in Texas and Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Get out of there, as would be my short definition of that. My short explanation, my short bit of advice is get out of those places. If you feel like you're in danger because of the clothes you're wearing or whatever, you need to get out. But these things are being written from New York City Metro and from the LA Metros.
Sure.
And there's no problems going on there. No. From these things. Now, I can see that your family may be disappointed or whatever, and that's annoying.
Yeah, it sucks, but they're entitled to their opinion, I guess.
Mom's going to have another conversation with you about how she's not going to get grandchildren. That's annoying, but it's not oppression.
That would be a relatively innocuous version of your family being disappointed. Just, I'm not going to get grandkids. It's usually significantly worse.
Like how? What?
Then you're going to pray the gay away camps, or then you're going to live with your uncle in Minnesota.
I see. You're talking about post 18. The
pre-18.
Pre-18. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So there was this campaign called.
Well, you have to get to 18.
It Gets Better. Gay celebrities told gay teens that, hey, just hang on until you're old enough to pay your own bills or whatever. So yeah, it's tough.
But
I don't know
it does
what
get
else
better.
to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does get better.
It doesn't. It's not easy. Then again, it's not like my mother allowed me to be a practicing heterosexual at her house. I can assure you.
Yeah, no one. I mean, in fact, in a
I
lot of
wasn't
ways,
allowed to do that either.
Right, that's not going to happen.
The kids who are secretly gay or secretly lesbians, they have it easier in that regard. I've read stories about a gay brother and a gay sister who would invite, their partners over to spend the night, and their parents, being clever, is like, okay, but you have to sleep in your brother's room or whatever. So they ended up sleeping with their actual romantic partner, because their parents didn't know they were gay.
I suspect that is the most unlikely of circumstances.
Sure. But if you are secretly gay...
It happens.
It's not that hard to get away with.
All right.
It's hard to be secretly gay. But if you have achieved that...
It's also hard to have a secretly gay sister. You're going to have a sibling that's the same age and things like that,
Yeah, well, within a year or two apart, sure.
Yeah, it's a trick.
Yeah.
Women's sexual liberation has always had a place in feminism. In the second act, Bolivar explains that freedom is recognized in women's sexual activity, and that it is freedom that this freedom not only rests in self-possession, but in self-accountability. So I don't even know what that paragraph was meant to say in here, but okay.
Well, it sounds like she's about to make a pro-life argument, because that would be accountability for women having sexual choices, would it not? What do you think about the whole thing? Give us a call, 855-450-3733.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556, or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces, even within an IRA. 800-525-9556, ICAGoldSilver.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Give us a call at 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about Marcie, but before we get back into that, Mark, why don't you tell us about what you're holding in your hand there?
I would recommend My Magic Mud even to Marcie. Because I recommend...
Lesbians don't deserve white teeth.
Yes, they do.
Not the crazy ones.
Everybody deserves good oral health. And... that's how you're going to get it, is My Magic Mud. Not only does it whiten teeth, but it also it makes my teeth whiter than I feel any other oral care product. So I've used it for some time, and it's been like more than a half a decade, and I won't live without it. I love it that much. It is... I just have to have it. And if you want to check it out, it is... black tooth powder made of charcoalized coconut shells and bentonite clay. Now, My Magic Mud has lots of products, but that is their core product. Try that first, because I think that you'll love it. If you listen to one thing I say here on Free Talk Live, listen to this. My Magic Mud is an incredible choice as far as oral care goes. You can get it at most major health food stores, Sprouts, CVS, Natural Grocers, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle. But if you go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20, you can save 20% off. It's mymagicmud.com, coupon code FTL20.
Very cool. Let's get right into the phones. We've got Joshua calling in from California. Sorry about that. Joshua, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's on your mind?
So you guys were talking about misogyny and how it was causing mass shootings.
Mass shooting?
Marcie wrote, evidently, the author of the article that we've been discussing, also wrote an article about how mass shootings were ultimately caused by misogyny. Yes.
Do you think video games and misogynistic have anything to do with each other? Like, could they be linked?
Do I think that misogyny... I don't even know how to define misogyny. Is that woman-hating?
I think that's literally what it means.
Yeah, so if we're taking it as women-hating, I think people have biases based on genders, sure. And I think that video games are designed by people. So I think that the people that design video games have biases on gender, and they bring all their biases with them when they write the stories and put these things together. I also think that imaginary women with super large boobs sell more video games than imaginary women with flat chests.
I got a point there.
Yeah. I think video games as a whole cause mass shootings because of the intense amount of violence in them that's being shown to young kids, like 5-year-olds and up. That could really damage you.
So, what 5-year-olds are? Which video games are we talking? Are we talking about all video games like Tetris?
Like stuff like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. You know, the violent ones, Call of Duty.
How old are you?
Tetris. I am 19.
Have you played Grand Theft Auto?
Yes, but I don't really play video games that much. I played it over a friend's house.
It sounds like an anachronism to me. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, when was the last time they released one of these things? 10 years ago?
No, GTA 5 was like, what, 2 years ago?
Okay. Well,
yeah, it
shows
was
what I
not
know.
long ago.
Okay.
It was like 10 years ago that GTA 3 and...
The controversy surrounding Grand Theft Auto was 10 years ago, at least.
Sure. Well, that was when it went 3D, and then there was San Andreas and the hot coffee scene and all of that. But certainly, so do you think that this this playing of Grand Theft Auto that you did, do you think it traumatized you?
I was old enough to understand what was right and wrong at the time. I'm talking about like 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, stuff like that. Kids, parents who just put their kids in front of video games.
I don't know if this happens, but all right, I'll take your word for it that parents put 5-year-olds in front of Grand Theft Auto.
Who's the parent putting a 5-year-old in front of an M-rated video game?
So there has to be one.
I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, but
it happens more often than you think.
I would not at all be surprised that it happens more often than we think. I would have been allowed to play rated M video games when I was a kid. I didn't because they didn't exist then. I played, Mario. And
they probably weren't
that
interesting to you either. I had a kid,
I didn't go around jumping on turtles.
A kid came to my house at one point, and his father and I were hanging out, and he wanted to play my video game console, and I had a whole bunch of video games, many of them mature, like Grand Theft Auto kind of things, and he chose to play Crash Bandicoot because that's what interested him at the time. I'm not going to be. I think you're right that it's probably more kids than I am. It would surprise me, but I'd say this is that although you can say that you could say most mass shooters have played violent video games, you can probably not say most people who played violent video games have become mass shooters. So these things are I would call them related. I'm not going to claim that media doesn't affect my view of the world. When I get out my English longsword and I swing it around is usually during a movie with an English longsword. So,
I would also say, however, that the kind of person who is a violence fetishist, to the extent they're actually willing to go out there and harm other people and kill other people, is also the type of person that is going to be innately drawn to violent movies, violent video games, violent television shows. So it's not so much chicken and the egg, it's that, hey, there's this thing over here that's going to appeal to psychopaths, and the psychopaths find it and go after it.
Another thing that I would point out is that this diatribe against media has been around for a long time. Before we had video games, there were comic books, and in the 50s, there were congressional hearings on whether or not the bright colors and lurid drawings of video games were turning kids into perverts and...
you meant comic books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say video games? I'm sorry. Comic books were turning kids into, killers and perverts. So, the same reasoning's been around a long time.
I mean, so have psychopaths. Going all the way back to the dawn of human history, there have been murderers and rapists and serial killers.
Yeah, Cain probably hit Abel in the head with a rock because of video games. So...
He beat him at Tekken.
That
was it.
I saw that on Facebook.
Fatality.
Go
ahead.
There's this game called Kane and Lynch 2, where you just go around murdering strictly women and nothing else.
Okay.
It's made by THQ, and it's a terrifying game.
Okay.
Honestly, it's just misogynistic as all hell.
All right.
What do you guys think about that?
Do I think it exists? All right.
No. It does exist. It's called Kane and Lynch 2.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
I played a video game not too long ago. I streamed it on Twitch in violation of their terms called Angry Goy 2. It's a game featuring prominent white supremacists like Richard Spencer, Chris Cantwell, And the goal of the game is to run around. It's a third-person shooter, top-down, sort of like Zombies Ate My Neighbors from the SNES era. The goal is to run around killing a bunch of leftists.
That is not cool.
These do not sound interesting to me. They don't.
No,
sound
it was a horrible game. I made it like 10 minutes in. I was like, it's not
terrible,
that it's
I'm
a
sure.
terrible message.
The game was designed
is.
so that you could talk about the game's premise, not so that the game would be good.
Well, the game's premise was a bunch of white dudes running around killing other white dudes. And that's all you do in the whole game.
And that brings me to my point about you were talking about the game where the guy goes around and kills a bunch of women. Most games
Kane and Lynch 2.
Where someone, you can say it again if you'd like. What was it?
Kane and Lynch 2.
Okay.
Kane and Lynch 2.
Most games that I played where somebody kills somebody, and that's a human being that we're talking about, it's a guy killing a guy. Now, is that, what's the other term besides misogynistic? What's the opposite
Misandry.
one? Misandry. Is that misandristic?
But usually it's women and men. You know what I'm saying? This one was
No,
just
it's not.
Well,
I mean,
Joshua, thank you so much for the call. There's so much to talk about.
If we look at the gender of the things that have been killed, the polygons that have been killed in video games, that gender is going to be largely male.
I would agree entirely. Having played my fair share of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, and all these other games.
It sounds like a bunch of people getting breathless over nothing.
855-450-3733.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA? Or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-976-1460. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-976-1460. That's 1-800-976-1460. 1-800-976-1460.
Free Talk Live.
You're privileged to drive the road. You must follow the laws.
No, I don't have to.
You're going to make you're going to double park and you're going to make a left-hand turn in front of a cop?
Can I respond to you here, Barbara?
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to run a red light in front of a cop because he has a gun and is willing to hurt me, but I've run plenty of...
Wrong. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to give you a ticket.
Oh, but if I decide not to pull over, what will he do?
Well, you're not obeying the law.
Barbara, I don't obey arbitrary words written down by strangers. I obey natural law, Barbara. That means if I do something, I expect consequences will come from that, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You run a red light, somebody comes around and you kill him.
I would never run a red light like that. When I run a red light, I stop first, look around, make sure no one is in danger, and then I go through.
Oh, you are such a phony.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Give us a call and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about Marcie Bianco.
Bianco, something like that.
This crazy lesbian who has decided that all of the world's problems are the fault of men. And
she's pretty clear about it.
And the only way that women can have freedom is by having sex with each other.
Yes, that's pretty much, I think that sums this up. And this notion that an adult is responsible for their own sex life, how they have sex, who they have sex with, when, where, and why they have sex, portrays a sharp contrast in our culture, where men seem to never have to take responsibility for their actions. Women must always take responsibility for not only their own actions, but the actions of men.
Okay, well...
She sounds a little angry.
She's also demonstrably wrong. Men can become on the hook for child support, whether they are actually the father of that child or not.
Well, now you're just talking about sex, but she's just saying generally
okay, sure. But she's talking about, the consequences of sexual liberation.
How come I have to take a pill? How come he doesn't have to take a pill?
Well, the man is going to be on the hook for child support if he gets a woman pregnant, whether he likes or not. Even if he wants her to have an abortion, it doesn't matter. He's still going to be on the hook for child support. And in a lot of cases, if he's not even the father, it won't matter. And DNA tests won't keep him from having to pay child support. There are countless cases of this. Meanwhile, the woman can indeed have an abortion and just go, no, I don't want to be responsible for this, so I'm not going to be. And look, I'm pro-choice. I'm not saying people who have abortions are irresponsible, but if they want to be irresponsible, that mechanism is there. It is not there for men.
I am against irresponsible people having children. I'll go that far. Absconding from responsibility is the quintessential strategy of the patriarchy. It's how men stay in control and never lose their power. How much control do you have, Michael?
Over what?
I don't know. That's the thing, is I don't have much this control of which she speaks.
What do I control? Maybe my life, my own life.
Yeah,
I don't control anyone else.
Let's get back into the phones here. We've got Cameron calling in from Phoenix, Arizona. Cameron, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi. So my older brother grew up with Tourette's, and when we were kids, I remember I asked him how he managed to stay so positive, and his response really stuck with me. He said, fuck, shit, pussy, cunt, dick, cock.
I hit drop, nothing happened. I hit it again, and that time it dropped, so...
Okay, drop over there on the back one, too.
Yep, you are correct. Thanks. I always forget that one.
Yeah.
Because that's the LRN one, right?
Yeah. I could see that one coming, by the way.
Yeah, with Tourette's. I was going to ask, what kind of Tourette's, because it's not all foul language. In fact, the vast majority of it is
but the funniest one is foul language.
Sure, but that's also like the one that only came up in a movie and never actually happens in real life.
No, there's not. It happens.
I mean, sure, maybe in like 0.001%.
Right, you're much more likely to have, say, lycanthropy or what's this? The mimic.
Lycanthropy?
Lycanthropy? Yeah, lycanthropy. Is that how you want to pronounce it?
That's where you turn into a werewolf.
No, well, that would be what Hollywood calls it. Yes, but this is just where you bark like a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know somebody who clucks like a chicken.
There.
Yeah. It's pretty clearly Tourette's, you know? This person is brain damaged as well. So
I was a roommate of a guy who would have to mimic any mechanical noise he heard. So, the water heater comes on and goes, he'd have to go,
Interesting.
The microphone goes ding, he goes ding. Kind of, yeah.
Fascinating. But news for the people out there, we do have what is called a dump button.
Yes.
Which means that, we can...
Let me explain a dump button to you people who aren't that familiar with radio.
Absolutely.
A dump button is us traveling in time. The show is done live, and then 7 seconds later, it is broadcast out over the various ways that it's heard. And that 7 seconds we have control of. So if we have a dump button, we push it one time, it goes back 3.5 seconds. If we push it 2 times, tuk, tuk, it goes back 7 seconds. So if you get on the radio and you tell a joke about Tourette's.
See, I didn't know that. And what it sounds like is that I may have needed to hit the dump button twice.
Okay.
Because we're reporting that some of that got on the air.
Okay, well, that's that falls under the FCC's fleeting expletive rule. So, it's not like you or I said it. It was somebody who was, that the guy in control, the panel didn't understand what to do. So, as the case may be. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Interesting.
So
I didn't know that about hitting it twice.
Yeah,
that's
hitting
good
it
to know.
twice. Yeah, hitting it once will go get half of it, and hitting it twice will get 7 seconds. So anyway.
Well, no, I know that. People trying to call. Oh, they're talking about the video feed anyway.
Oh, the video feed, it always gets on.
Yeah, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I can't I don't want to spend the money to get whatever the equivalent of a dump button is for the video feed.
Yeah.
The video feed goes out live. So, yes, if you call in from Twitch, you can get your cussing in on Twitch, which isn't hard. Twitch doesn't have any rules against cussing. So, it's not like we're violating anything anyway. So
there's no FCC on Twitch.
As long as, we're protecting our radio station's licenses, then it doesn't particularly matter. I mean, I've heard all the dirty words that any person's going to call in with.
Yeah, for sure.
Absconding from responsibility is the quintessential strategy of the patriarchy. It's how men stay in control and never lose their power.
Absconding from what?
Responsibility.
Okay.
As Lord wrote in Sister Outsider, the cost for those of us who not only have to carry the responsibility of others, but to educate them, too, is our own liberation, agency, and self-creation. The oppressors maintain their position and evade their responsibility for their own actions. There's a constant drain of energy which must be better used in redefining ourselves and devising realistic scenarios for altering the present and constructing the future. So basically,
word salad.
Men aren't responsible for themselves. Women can be responsible by getting irresponsible people out of their lives. And don't forget, men are irresponsible.
And men are in power because they're irresponsible.
That's right. They maintain their power through irresponsibility. While men stew in their mess, women are rising. They're taking back control of their lives and their bodies, and they are questioning the foundation of the patriarchy, heterosexuality, that is keeping them blindly subordinate for centuries. These women ruled by their sexual desires
for men
for centuries. Yeah, when you want to go and change, this lady is no different than the pray the gay the way lunatics. That
I would agree entirely.
Yeah.
Having dealt with plenty of the pray the gay away lunatics.
Didn't you get sent to one of those things?
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row to gay camp.
And she's absolutely just as bad as they are.
Yeah. A feminist critique of compulsory heterosexual orientation for women.
Hold on, what?
What?
A feminist critique of compulsory heterosexual orientation for women.
Wait, nobody's forcing women to have a sexual orientation?
She says they are.
And a heterosexual one at that.
Adrienne Rich wrote in her 1980 feminist classic, Compulsory Heterosexuality and the Lesbian Experience, it looks like this critique has finally arrived in the mainstream. And Marcie Bianco is happy about it. She's a writer and editor living in California. She's a columnist at the Women's Media Center, and her writing can be found both online and in print. And outlets like NBC, Think, Pacific Standard, Quartz, Rolling Stone, Salon, Vanity Fair, and Vox.
A lot of
I noticed that
left-leaning publications.
Rothbardian stuff is in here.
Did you expect there to be?
No, I didn't for a second.
I wouldn't either, but if she wants to quote Nietzsche, she should probably also read some Rand and Rothbard. It certainly wouldn't hurt.
They're sort of not predecessors.
Successors.
Successors.
Yeah, absolutely.
To this idea. Yeah, I know Nietzsche's well liked by the libertarians. I can't say I've picked up a man and superego or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
But
well, it would depend. You're probably referring to Thus Spake Zarathustra.
Okay.
Which is probably his least understood book. I mean, he wrote Beyond Good and Evil to explain that, and then he wrote an additional book to explain Beyond Good and Evil, and then because even academics kept coming up to him saying, we don't understand what you're trying to say, he wrote yet another book to explain that book.
Sounds like he was a bad writer.
He was a terrible writer. Brilliant philosopher. But it is so hard to understand anything he writes.
If you can't communicate what your philosophy is...
Well, it was written initially in German, right, back in the 19th century.
Was the German understandable, though?
I don't know. I wasn't a German living in the 19th century, so I can't answer that.
I'm just wondering if you can truly be brilliant. Like, you could think you're brilliant. Lots of people think they're brilliant. But, if you can't communicate that brilliance, then are you brilliant? I don't know.
Well, he communicated it, just not very well.
Okay.
And I guess I have some tolerance for that. If you want to communicate a really complex idea, it might take a really complex sentence.
Or maybe your ideas just suck, like Marcie Bianco's here.
Yeah, that's true. Hers are awful. There's more. Trump is coming up.
I am giving away $100 in Bitcoin Cash on September 2, 2019. And I'm not giving it away because I like giving away money. Quite the contrary. It's because I need a favor. Please go to demo.freetalklive.com and fill out the survey there as thoroughly as you like. There's an optional email slot, and if you put your email in there, you will forever be signed up for whatever prize I'm giving to incentivize people that month to fill out my form. Advertisers need this info on our listeners, so fill it out as truthfully as you can, please. Demo.freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527, silver at $17.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,303. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, if you're feeling anger for the political system being rigged to benefit those at the top, A new poll reveals you're far from alone. The Mind Unleashed reports that, released on Sunday, an NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows that 70% of Americans said they felt angry because the political system seems to only be working for the insiders with money and power. That figure, based on polling conducted August 10th through 14th, is barely different from the 69% who said they felt that way in an October 2015 poll. Questions asked by the pollsters reveal pessimism. 67% of those polled said they do not feel that the next generation will face a better life than the current one. That's up from the 61% who felt that way in 2017. Respondents' views of race relations were also grim. The poll finds that 60% believe race relations are bad in the nation. That view was expressed by 56% of whites, 81% of African Americans, and 61% of Hispanics. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Record fires are raging in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, with more than 2,500 fires currently burning. They're collectively emitting huge amounts of carbon, with smoke plumes visible thousands of kilometers away. The Mind Unleashed reports that the fires in Brazil increased by 85% in 2019, with more than half in the Amazon region, according to Brazil's space agency. The sudden increase is likely down to land degradation. Land clearing and farming reduces the availability of water, warms the soil, and intensifies drought, combining to make fires more frequent and more fierce. The growing number of fires are the result of illegal forest clearing to create land for farming. Fires are set deliberately and spread easily in the dry season. The desire for new land for cattle farming has been the main driver of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon since the 1970s. The massive decline of insect populations in recent years is an environmental crisis that's often overlooked. And by all indication, it seems that pesticides are largely to blame for the problem. However, researchers are currently developing alternatives that can hopefully protect crops for farmers without causing widespread harm to insect populations. According to Truth Theory, biopesticides are derived from natural materials like plants, bacteria, and certain minerals. These substances are not harmful to the environment and also pose less risk to insects. Some biopesticides are not even harmful, but just work to repel certain insects from the area, while others only target specific insects in a limited range. One of the most interesting recent developments in the field of biopesticides is the use of fungi. Fungus-based pesticides would still kill the insects that attempt to feast on the crops, but it would not be a toxin that gets into the environment, which reduces the widespread exposure to plant, animal, and insect life. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Procter & Gamble introduced a beginner series of its Bounty paper towel brand this week, specifically designed to assist novices in acclimating to the household cleaning product. The new entry-level paper towels will reportedly feature bold labels and guide markers clearly printed on the surface of each sheet, as well as a step-by-step instructional DVD in each package.
Make sure that your paper towel is directly on top of the stain and not beside the stain. Otherwise, you won't absorb any liquid. Place your paper towel directly on the stain and make a gentle wiping motion.
In this week's week's local news, an area man knows that deep down, he's not done vomiting. In other news, Los Angeles residents are plagued by a roving pack of feral celebrities living in the Hollywood Hills. God wonders what happens to humans after they die, and a local dad clarifies that this is not a food stop. I was told early on that I would never be able to procreate, but I imagine the cold, dejected sensation I experience at the end of this news summary is similar to what a father feels when holding a child of his own flesh and blood.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Give us a call at 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And it's time to move on. I got a little video here that I would like to play from the chosen one himself, evidently. It's President Trump at first talking about the trade war, and then, well, you've got to hear it for yourself.
This isn't my trade war. This is a trade war that should have taken place a long time ago by a lot of other presidents. Over the last 5 or 6 years, China's made $500 billion. $500 billion. Ripped it out of the United States. And not only that, if you take a look, intellectual property theft, add that to it, and add a lot of other things to it. So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So
he is the chosen one.
I love that.
And you have to watch the video to really get a grasp of what he's doing here. He is holding his arms up, turning, looking at the sky.
Yeah, lifted his arms aloft.
And proclaiming, I am the
God
chosen
has appointed him as the chosen one. Look, okay, I have a couple of things to say. First, I want to, at some point, I want to critique what he had to say about China ripping $500 billion out of the United States. But more importantly, I would say the fact that Trump lifts his arms to the sky and declares himself the chosen one is the most honest thing I've seen a president do in a long time. I mean, you got to think about the kind of sociopathy, the kind of hubris that it takes to get yourself through the incredibly arduous process that is the United States presidential electoral process. It is months of marathon campaigning, and the person who's the best at it is obviously not going to be a person who's the best at ruling a nation. So
certainly not.
I mean, you know, all of these people, Barack Obama, George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, George Bush Sr., Ronald Reagan, they all believed the same thing, that they were God's chosen one, if they believe in God. And
well, see, I'm from a different religious background, I'm assuming, than you are as well. I'm from the fire and brimstone Southern Baptist background, right? So when I hear him talk about this, all I hear is what I was raised from very early childhood to believe. This is the Antichrist, right here in the flesh.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not religious today, but all of that brainwashing is obviously still in the back of my mind, and it's always going to be. I've written a short story about it called Dead or Alive. That's really awesome. You can find it on Amazon. People should check that out. It's great. It's about exactly that kind of programming staying in your head, whether you like it or not. But when I hear this, I see a president here proclaiming himself to be the chosen one from God, right? That has to be setting off the alarm bells for the evangelical Christians, but it
probably
isn't.
No, the evangelical Christians
they're the
think
ones
he's
hanging
the
up the
second
freaking
coming.
Yeah, they're the ones hanging up the freaking billboards proclaiming him to be sent here by God. They are enabling the Antichrist according to their own theology.
Yeah, it's a whole lot more likely he was sent here by Satan.
Well,
he certainly wasn't sent here by a benevolent force within the universe.
All I would say is that I think that that in fact all that stuff about the Antichrist and that kind of thing is misguided. So
I would agree.
Pointing out that somebody fits some criteria of it is perhaps it might be a good idea to have people look at their own religion and these kind of things. Look. But what I would say is that I'm more of a preterist when it comes to these things, that all the things that the Bible was talking about as far as predictions were really all happened in the first century.
Certainly.
And
the book of Revelation was about Rome.
Yeah. The Antichrist existed at the time or came shortly after or whatever, with the writing of, was it Paul on the island? I can't remember who wrote Revelation.
It was John.
Yeah, John. Okay. Whoever was on that island taking mushrooms
Patmos.
and writing that stuff. And that all that stuff's wrapped up. And if whatever your relationship with God is today, it doesn't have much to do with predictions in Revelations. If those predictions in Revelations were anything but just a critique of modern Roman society, politics at the time, which would be my guess.
That is what they seem to be.
So,
but I mean, that's not how the evangelical Christians of today interpret it.
No,
I mean, they fully expect, the rapture, which they derive from one verse in Daniel and one verse in, I think it's Mark, that talks about 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken, one will be left. And they've somehow taken this and derived from it this belief that all the Christians are going to float away into heaven before Armageddon. It's amazing what they will extract that clearly isn't there.
Well,
never mind how much of their theology actually comes from, Dante's Inferno and Milton's Paradise.
Sure,
Paradise Lost.
There's no doubt. They extract a lot from that, and I have read some of these books. Castaway or something, I can't remember. Some series of books that had to do with people being sucked
Left
up
Behind.
Left Behind, is that what it was?
Yeah. I was essentially forced to read those as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
They were. It wasn't bad writing, but it's
fantasy.
Yeah. It was, but, if that is the worldview to which you subscribe, how could they not look at Donald Trump and see the Antichrist?
So what do you see, besides him declaring himself to be the chosen one, what else makes him the Antichrist? Aren't there a whole criteria of things? I mean, I didn't look up what makes the Antichrist before we got on the air here tonight, and maybe you didn't either.
Well, it's essentially, claiming to be the new Christ.
Okay.
Is what makes one the Antichrist. To reform the church, but under inverted principles, under hubris rather than humility, under power rather than, the meek.
All right.
Well, evangelicals have been doing that for years.
I'm getting convinced. All right.
And that's essentially what Donald Trump, does. But it's what all rulers do, to be fair, which is why I would say, Trump isn't the Antichrist. The Antichrist was always going to be someone who would be indistinguishable from an American president.
Well,
as you were saying,
the evangelicals really got behind George W. Bush, but he was a born-again Christian. He is a born-again Christian.
So is Trump, if you listen to what he says. He talks about eating the little cracker or whatever.
Yeah, well, Trump really doesn't even understand the Bible.
He's pretty... I've decided that he is pretty stupid.
I don't know if he's stupid or not.
I think he must be. He wants to nuke hurricanes.
Well, I mean, asking what would happen if we nuked a hurricane is not a stupid question. It's just a question.
Okay, you're correct. It's not necessarily a stupid question, but when you're the president of the United States, you should already know the answer to that.
You should be able to call somebody from NOAA and say, hey, I was wondering.
Yeah. I was doing shrooms last night.
No.
And it occurred to me that might have interesting results. What would be the results if we did that? Because, I mean, sure, random questions like that drive science forward. I mean, if we can ask what would happen if we grew an ear on a rat's back, we can ask what will happen if we drop a nuke in a hurricane.
Yes, somebody's asked that. I'm sure I've asked that question prior to Trump doing it. So maybe that's why I want to defend him a little bit.
But we don't have the power to drop a nuke into a hurricane.
We don't?
We don't?
I don't.
Oh, you and I?
Yes.
Yeah, none of us do.
I see. I thought you were saying we as like the human race, because I'm pretty sure Trump, if he could get a handful of people to think it was a good idea, could definitely get one of them to fly a plane with a a little fat boy kind of bomb that you could just drop out of it, and I wonder if an atomic weapon versus a nuclear weapon, say less fissile material or whatever it is, would be better. I don't know. I mean, Nagasaki and Hiroshima exist.
They certainly do.
So, I don't know.
It's not like it would destroy the ocean or anything.
No, it's not going to destroy the ocean.
But the radioactivity leaking.
But I'm talking about atomic as opposed to nuclear.
Well, there would still be a lot of radio. I'm not sure there is a difference anyway.
It's
but
like one is the other, but the other isn't the one. Something
like that. But it would be ill-advised at the very least. But Trump is Trump. 855-450-FREE as in freedom.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. GoDark bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkbags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkbags.com/FTL.
Are you locked into a crappy schedule where you're forced to report to work, or even to a relationship where you're not allowed to do the things you want to do? That sucks. Wouldn't you prefer to live a more free life? There's another way to live. I'm Caleb Jones, and my staff and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income, location-independent businesses and how to date women under your terms. Go to freelifeinfo.com to download 7 free books and podcasts so you can live a life like this too.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about the chosen one, God King himself, Donald Trump, who has decided that, maybe the best way to get rid of hurricanes is to nuke them. Believe it or not.
Look, what was Barack Obama doing about the hurricanes? That's what I want to know. I mean,
well, he was
at least Donald Trump's trying to come up with a plan here.
He was certainly not nuking them. That much is true.
Well, see, there he sits in his hands in Washington, D.C., while we down in Florida are wading around up to our butts in swamp water.
He was also not standing in front of the White House lawn saying things like, this is the wettest one we've ever seen from the standpoint of the water, which Donald Trump said. And it's still one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anyone say about anything in the history of ever.
Well, if there was more water in that one, then wouldn't it be the wettest? I don't
think the wet quality is about how much water there is, but more about the pH levels of said water.
No. More water is wetter than less water. I mean, if I put an eyedropper worth of water on you versus putting a bucket worth of water on you, you will be wetter from the standpoint of the water.
Yeah, but at a certain point, I mean, just more water just doesn't make you any
I want
wetter.
to step down and say, thank you, Jesus, for Donald Trump. I just thank you, Jesus, for this guy. He's so awesome.
Let's go to the phones. We got Jerry calling in from Iowa. Jerry, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. Am I here?
Yes. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is about the albums the Columbine shooters that listened to. I believe the name was, I forgot the name. But they listened to this band called KMFDM. You know?
I know KMFDM. KMFDM sucks.
I'm glad to get that. But yeah, I think KMFDM causes shootings. I mean, the guys went to fucking school in the cafeteria and they're like, I'm godlike. They were influenced by the music and also video games. Doom was a big part of one of the shooters' lives. What was his name? Like Diamond Klebo and Eric. I'm not the same color. Who am I?
I don't know.
That's the video game Doom, right? They both. Well, it's like we said earlier. If somebody is attracted to violence in a manner that they're willing to
but
go,
video games, cause the attraction.
Video games don't cause the attraction. Okay, do you blame women for being raped?
Yes, because they don't know how to control themselves. Get away from the dirty man with a fucking knife.
Yeah,
drop him.
You're done. Dump button. Dump button. Again, we have dump buttons. The sad thing is, I don't think he really meant to. He just got a bit animated.
I don't think he believes anything he says, honestly.
It's so hard to tell with people because there are so many stupid people out there.
I'm going to go ahead and address the idea of violence as in our society as it relates to video games and perhaps some movies that glorify violence or whatever. Is there no relationship? I would not say there's no relationship. But however, I would say that you can't make a very good case. Before we had violent video games, we had violent lunatics doing violent lunatic stuff. And I don't even know that you can make the case that there's more of it going on. Violent crime has gone down in my lifetime significantly, globally. And so you would think with the proliferation of video games, presumably the proliferation of violent video games is also, that it would go up if there's a causative relationship involved. That said, when I would watch Incredible Hulk, I'd jump around in my tidy whities at 9 years old or whatever and go, and my friends and I would wrestle and, do those kinds of things. So I do think that, watching a Bruce Lee movie makes, people do bad kung fu.
I've watched violent video. I've watched violent movies. I've played violent video games. I've even listened to KMFDM. None of those have ever made me None of those have ever made me angry enough or influenced me to be violent.
Well, let's get back to the phones.
What has is police dash cam videos.
Excellent point, Michael. We've got John calling from California, wants to talk about video games since that's on topic. John, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, hello. So what you guys were talking about earlier really interested me. So I thought video games are really violent. I think they should be banned. I think video games show a lot of violence in people.
You're watching the show on Twitch, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's primarily a gaming streaming platform.
Yeah, but not all games are bad.
Okay.
How many
Super
are?
Mario is... What?
How many are?
I'm not exactly sure how many bad
As a
video
percentage? Can you give me a rough number? Just stick to the
probably
tens.
70%. 70%.
17% of video games are bad. That's 17?
No, 70.
70% of video games are bad.
But you're okay with games like Mario and presumably like Mario Kart? You know, kid-friendly kind of games. What about Super Smash Brothers?
I think that is a racist game.
Racist? I've never heard it characterized as racist before. Why do you say
have to go
that?
a little further with your thesis.
Because there is no black people in the game.
Okay.
And
I can't say you're wrong.
If people say there's a black person, it's a racist joke because there is a monkey in there.
Interesting. I've never heard anyone say that.
Except for this guy.
I've never played that game, so I don't know.
I don't even know what Super Smash Brothers is, but, you know.
Well, it's a mashup game of all of the Nintendo characters and popular video game characters in a fighting game together, fighting against each other.
So are we talking about Sonic being white?
Well, Sonic is blue, Mark.
Right. White? I don't think he is. I think he's blue.
He is literally blue, yes.
Okay.
Well, how can a video game be racist if it has a blue guy in it?
Well, he's right. There are no black gaming characters spotlighted in Super Smash Brothers.
That doesn't make it racist.
Right. Well, it's largely because, you know, the overall trend in video games is that you're not going to find any popular black protagonists in other video games. But that's its own separate problem from the Super Smash Brothers series itself.
All right.
Well, anyway, John, thank you so much for the call. It's an interesting discussion, no less. And clearly a lot of people are vested in the subject of how video games influence people more potently because they are products of the same society that they then go on to influence. You know, I think that's where people, you know, start to get into the real problems with video games and movies and all that. Like, you're not going to see a lot of LGBT people in 90s movies, right?
Right.
But were 90 movies keeping LGBT people down? Well, no, they were products of the society, and as LGBT people became more and more accepted, you started seeing them more and more in movies.
Well, Brokeback Mountain, I mean, that was the 90s LGBT movie.
Was that 90s?
Yes.
No, that was like 2004, 2005.
Which one was the one from the 90s then? I
don't know.
Okay.
Matthew Broderick was in Torch Song Trilogy back in the 80s.
I don't know what that is, Mark.
Well, you're going to have to go watch it.
855-450-3733. What do you think about video games?
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Give us a call and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And although we've been talking about Donald Trump, who, after tweeting someone who called him King of Israel and the Chosen One, then went on to stand in front of, I don't even remember where they were because I wasn't paying that much attention to the video, but he was talking to a reporter about various things, about the trade war with China. And he turns, raises his hands up to the sky and proclaims, "I am the chosen one." Which
just right in the middle of this middle of a sentence, pretty much.
Yeah, if you don't see it, it's hard to believe that it actually happened. It's like, no, wait, there is no way he did this. But he did.
And it's on YouTube.
When we know it's Neo.
And we've got Joe calling in from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I think Trump is just being hyperbolic. You know, like he's the one who he probably thinks this trade thing going on with China, it's on his shoulders because Bush and Obama just kind of sat and waited out there 8 years, But, I mean, I don't think he's religious at all. I mean, I can't read his mind, but from just based on his lifestyle from, forever.
Seems pretty clear.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah, I think
he's
the
just being
evangelicals
hyperbolic.
and stuff, I don't think the evangelicals are as, the abortion issue is a big deal for them, but I think when you put somebody like Hillary Clinton up there, man, you know, I think people would come out of the woodwork to vote against her.
Yep.
I think that's one reason he got elected is because people cannot stand Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
But what about when the Democrats run like Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, one of the other three preordained establishment Democrats that the DNC is, you know, throwing
the
its weight
economy is
behind?
pretty good right now, so Trump's going to get a certain level of credit for that. You know, so
I think if they keep talking about socialism, they're going to lose, and they got to. You know, as long as the Democrats, I know they're in the primary season and all that, and they got to appeal to their fringe, but you know, them being on like Warren's on Twitter all the time, you know, Biden's all his gas. I think if they wanted to beat Trump, they would have put the I can't think of his name, the guy from Starbucks up.
Oh, but, yeah. I can't remember his name now either.
I think Tulsi Gabbard would do well against Trump.
I would agree, but she's still a socialist.
Yeah, and she's not going to win the DNC nomination.
No,
they
have it out for her because she's too much against the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, they don't want her.
Which is the only reason I would like to see her, you know, win the Democratic nomination. I wouldn't want either one of them.
I wish we had viable parties like other countries. You know, they have 3 or 4 parties, but
yeah,
libertarians can get their act together. And yeah, I mean,
right now a conservative can't run because Trump's taken the space effectively.
And if there is anything the Libertarian Party loves, it's washed up Republicans.
Yeah.
Like making a corpse dance.
Joe, thank you so much for the call. Always nice to hear from our listeners. I would love for the Libertarian Party to run an actual libertarian.
Yeah, hasn't happened in quite a while.
And they're not going to. Of course, Bill Weld is currently running against Donald Trump for the GOP nomination.
Yeah.
Of course, Trump is going to win that. Bill Weld is just trying to position himself to pull some of the Republican voters to the Libertarian Party when he inevitably loses to Donald Trump. And there's still plenty of those never-Trumpers to go around. Bill Weld sucks. I hate him, and I don't want him anywhere near an elected position, especially one that has the Libertarian Party banner attached to it.
You think the Libertarians are going to go for Weld going from Republican to Libertarian?
Yes.
And then back to Republican and then back to Libertarian?
A former co-host on this show who refused to join the Keen Republican Party because she doesn't like how they treat, you know, her LGBT loved ones or whatever, is still in full endorsement mode for Bill Weld. They don't care whether he's a Republican. They don't care at all. They just love the idea that he's going to come back to the Libertarian Party with all of his support and all of his dirty, filthy, scheming, lying, treacherous Republican money and take over the Libertarian Party for them again. Let's get back to the phones. We've got Daryl calling from Los Angeles. Daryl, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Hello? What do you guys think about Satanism?
Satanism?
I am a Satanist.
Yeah, Satanism.
Oh, God.
You are a Satanist.
I am indeed.
All right. What are you? So I assume you don't believe in actual Satan, but like the beliefs and stuff they have.
I am of the LaVeyan Satanism.
Do they have
school.
Beliefs? Aren't these just trolling atheists? Seriously?
No. There is a. I mean, look. If you interpret the story of Genesis in the way that Christians intend it, or the way that it's actually written, if you start from the hypothesis that it's true, then
I don't
either. But Lucifer is the good guy in the story. He's Prometheus. He's the guy who brought us to reason and science and learning. And God was the one who wanted to create these robots who were just going to obey him unquestionably without the ability to think for themselves. You know, this was wrong because God said so. Lucifer came along and said, no, that's wrong. If you eat this fruit, you will know why it's wrong.
Well, there you go.
And that's what LaVeyan Satanism sort of stems from.
Yeah.
Is the idea that Yahweh, as written within the Bible, is clearly the devil. And Lucifer is clearly the god of good. And it makes sense. If you were a god of a universe and you were an evil god, what would be the first thing you would really want to do? It wouldn't be convince people that you didn't exist. No. It would be to convince all of the people out there that you were the good one and the other one was the evil one. And that's exactly what we find within the Bible. I don't believe any of it is true.
So you guys know what SoundCloud is?
Yes. It is a music streaming and uploading service.
Yeah, the music streaming service.
Yeah.
I found this new guy. His name's Rock Pina 73.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Is he a rapper?
I would assume he's neither. But
I would assume he doesn't exist.
Yeah. Dump button people. We have one.
Yep, we do have one.
He was certainly not from Los Angeles with that kind of accent, though. And that's why my finger stayed on the drop button the entire time.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, Alabama.
What you think about Satan? Y'all got any of them Satanists up there? In that there New Hampshire? So, Donald Trump, probably what I would call Satan. But that would be true of Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Weld, Hillary Clinton, Timothy McVeigh.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just I don't want to propagate the notion that there's this being that's running around making people do bad stuff. People do bad stuff because people do bad stuff. And they're responsible for every bad action they take. Satan didn't make them do it.
I see it as an allegory of humanity and the human condition, is that we all have this darkness within us as represented by the mythological figure Satan, and we all have this goodness within us represented by the mythological figure, Jesus or
I understand
Yahweh or whatever.
From the storytelling standpoint, the allegorical value of personifying evil or whatever. But human beings have evil within them and choose to act on it all the time. I think that personifying it is negative. Giving it its own volition or whatever is negative because it allows people to separate themselves in some ways from their bad actions. I've had plenty of bad actions in my life. I've tried to take responsibility for them every single time I do them.
You're not wrong. And I remember one born-again Christian that I interacted with a number of years ago in Mississippi who was like, I made so many bad decisions, but I'm taking responsibility. The devil was just influencing me, and I found Jesus now, and the devil can no longer wield his evilness over me, or whatever. I don't remember exactly how she phrased it.
Rambling nonsense.
But at the exact same time that she was saying, I took responsibility, she's pointing the finger at this third party and saying, no, it's that person's fault.
Yeah.
Well, that's not taking personal responsibility, sunshine. That's blaming somebody else. 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of
where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and with you tonight it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we got calls stacked up, but Mark, we have to address the awesome
amplifiers.
person.
In hopes of creating more amplifiers, we thank them. Bill Barry, thank you for amplifying Free Talk Live. Bill Barry is a silver amplifier, and you can be an amplifier too. If you like the idea that a show on 200 radio stations will take your call about anything, supports free speech, well, as free as we can make it, then you ought to support the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. Really, Free Talk Live is a unique program. There's really nothing like it out there on the radio. And, if you want the cookie cutter stuff that the big corporations give you, by all means, support them. But if
Don't support them.
If you want something a little different that allows free speech, go to amp.freetalklive.com for $5 a month. And, that's the cost of one of those fancy coffee drinks at the chain coffee store. Give up one of those per month. Give it to us. We can make it go farther. amp.freetalklive.com.
Let's get right back into the phones. We've got Phil calling in from Butte, Montana. Phil, you're on Free Talk Live.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. I'm talking to you from the town of Butte, Montana, where we actually have an Elizabeth Warren Avenue. It's a main street.
Is it the same Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah, I would assume so. How many Elizabeth Warrens can there be?
I wouldn't think that she would have been. Like, she's from Massachusetts, isn't she? I mean, I wouldn't have thought that she had that sort of psychological penetration to make it all the way out there to Butte.
Well, maybe she's from Massachusetts the same way that the Bushes are.
The same way that what?
The Bushes are.
Oh, the Bushes are. Bushes from Connecticut, right?
Claim to be Texans, and they're all New Englanders. They're a bunch of Yankees.
Yes, that's true.
But anyway, to get back to why I originally said I'd called, atomic and nuclear are synonyms.
Are they completely the same?
Now, they're exactly the same.
Okay.
They're both fission bombs.
Yeah.
Now then, you get into a thermonuclear, you're getting into a fission bomb.
Okay.
And that's a whole different animal. And if you dropped one of those into a hurricane, there would be no sign of the hurricane at all. If you were trying to control a hurricane, what you need to do is disrupt it. And the best thing to do, if you really want to do that, you need to drop one of those little Davy Crockett's in the middle of one of them, because that's just a 1 kiloton fission bomb is all it is.
Okay.
Those are the things. Those are the things that we have thousands of pointed at Russia and everybody else over there. They're called tactical nukes.
Yeah, what do we got them for anyway?
We have them because we want our goal ultimately is to have hegemony over the entire world. You were talking about Antichrist and such things. My personal view is that Trump, Pompeo, and Bolton are a holy trinity of their own kind, and basically they worship Dr. Strangelove.
That is bizarre.
Now, we've talked about Dr. Strangelove. I don't remember now exactly what that was.
Something about building the bomb.
No, Dr. Strangelove was a movie from
it's Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, so refresh my memory for me, because I know that we talked about this like last week sometime, but I don't remember the exact details of it.
I've never seen the movie, but my basic understanding is that Dr. Strangelove felt the same way about Russia that most of our modern politicians do. It's the devil, and we have to destroy them, or we're never going to be able to have a free world.
Interesting.
Which is completely insanity.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I mean, Putin. I have more respect for Putin and the majority of Russians because they're actually Christians, as compared to not the majority of Americans anymore.
What's the distinction?
What's
the distinction between their Christianity and Americans?
They are basically Greek Orthodox. They just converted it over to Russian Orthodox.
Yeah.
Same basic thing.
But
the bottom line is that they know, Putin knows full well that there is no way that they can muster the economic capability to beat us in a war, and they're not really interested in beating us in a war anyway. With the Pentagon for years has been making this mainstream comment about the fact that they're going to have a first strike attack against Russia as soon as we can beat them. Well, we can beat them easy, but the problem is that that's because Russia doesn't have any countermeasures like we do. What Russia has is a doomsday attitude that basically, if you attack us, you attacking us will trigger our reverse attack on you, and our reverse attack on you will plant nuclear-powered nuclear warheads underneath your major coastal cities and turn them into piles of rubble.
Yeah. Well, Phil, thank you so much for the call. We have to move on. We still got people sitting on the lines waiting to get in. Mutually assured destruction. That's generally still the United States attitude.
Yeah, it's still a policy,
and it's I believe it's still how the United States would react if China or Russia were to attack the United States.
I don't suspect you'll see that, but all right.
I don't either.
If a nuke flies, you can be sure that nukes are going to fly the other direction.
Let's get back into it. Gilbert from Kansas. Gilbert, you are on Free Talk Live.
Hello, my name is Gilbert. I wanted to talk about how Antifa is really bad.
All right. Well, that sounds like a call that would be best for another night. But thanks anyway. We've also got Mike calling from Gold Bar, Washington. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thank you. I'll try to make it quick. Thursday, I called you guys, and I think some of you were off doing other things maybe when I talked. But I had announced how my county, Grays Harbor County of Washington State, that's where Kurt Cobain came from, they extended the needle exchange program, but I felt that they were lying to me about something. And the very next morning, one of the county commissioners that actually voted to extend it got on the air, because they all come on the air and tell their lies and don't realize there's an archive. Anyway, so I called him up and I said, sir, I'm writing a book called It Took My Village, and it's about heroin addiction and homelessness where I grew up. He starts singing like a bird. Here's what happened, really. They gave themselves a $52,000 grant for this needle exchange program. They bought a motorhome from a private party for $17,000, but it's older, which to me smells like they knew someone that wanted to get rid of a motorhome. They bought this motorhome. the thing is, okay, so they got $52,000. Guess how much the needles cost? Absolutely zero.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd be very
So
costly.
basically, they from the general fund, gave themselves $52,000, and the needles cost nothing. They could have had them shipped to the methadone clinic in the next town over, and they could have given them away at no expense. And I think people should start watching their local government and these grants that they're getting, because they're using them improperly. They're stealing money, and the person that needs that money, which is the heroin addict that needs more than just a clean needle, is getting nothing in return.
I wish we had more
That's all I got to
watchdogs
say.
out there to build.
You got to do it. Trump has given them a great cover, so they can just rob us left and right at our own local government.
That's true.
That's what
And
they do.
it's a shame. I hope they enjoy the motorhome. I'll find out who the buyer is next time a county commissioner gets on, I promise. Okay.
Sounds great. Keep us updated. Let us know how it develops. Definitely. That's why we have many libertarians here in Keene who are running for various parts of the city government. Myself included. I'm running for city council. Nobody is running for mayor. We have at least one other person running for city council. At least two other people actually running for city council. I don't know what chances any of us have. I'm going to be going out and knocking on doors and all of that.
I don't know. Nobody actually got an endorsement from the union leader.
Yeah, but I hear it was probably a sarcastic one.
May have been,
and not
but
a sincere one.
Well, it is Keene and the options do suck. So, an endorsement
You're not wrong.
is an endorsement is.
Well, let's real quickly try to get to David from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, no time for equality discussion, so I might as well go with my memories. Man, you really did it tonight. 1, 2, and 3. I'm in a movie with Billy Ray Cyrus. Did scenes with him all day one day. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, I'm in
What was the
another
name of the movie?
with her. The first, Cyrus was the spy next door with Jackie Chan. And Jackie Chan and George Lopez, I was with them all day long, too. And then Beau Bridges and Maggie Gyllenhaal and Colin Farrell in Crazy Heart.
Well,
and
David,
then,
I'm sorry we weren't able to, fully get to you because you're a regular caller. I like to get to you, but we just ran out of time for today.
I wonder how many degrees from Kevin Bacon he is.
Go check out the full show archives over at freetalklive.com. The archives there go back for 10 years. Go check them out, freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,527, silver at $17.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,303. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, if you're feeling anger for the political system being rigged to benefit those at the top, a new poll reveals you're far from alone.